Hi everyone, this is a one-turn run on the Lithely Versatile raid, which is the Cloud of Darkness FR event. This is also going to be a no boss turn run. I did try quite a bit to get a 0 turn run, but unfortunately the boss just has too many HP to get a 0 turn run with this party at least, so I compromised for a 1 turn run instead. The single turn taken in the entire run is Kane's BT+, because unfortunately there's no way to get his BT+ aura without taking a turn in the game. Unless you pair Kane with someone like Noctis who can grant free turns, but then you'll be wasting a slot on another party member like Noctis. The turn order at the start is quite important, so I reset until I get a turn order of Cloud of Darkness followed by Sherlotta. Cloud of Darkness can get a free BT+ up by using her additional ability at the start to break an enemy, because this grants her a consecutive free turn. Before I use a BT+, I did also use the Seymour base call, and this is quite important. You need to save the Seymour LD call for later in the fight. Coming to Sherlotta's turn, her main objective here is to charge both the force gauge and summon meter, and in order to charge the summon meter to 100% on Sherlotta's turn, you need to give her a call ability that can do at least one launch. There are quite a few options for this, but I ended up using Dark Knight Cecile, mainly because Dark Knight Cecile's LD call can also delay all enemies by 1 turn and inflicts a very nice HP damage up debuff to boot. With Sherlotta, the idea is to just spam her S1 and EX until the bosses regenerate their Brave, and then you use first her LD call ability on one of the bosses, which will then trigger a follow-up attack with Cloud of Darkness and will enable you to use Cloud of Darkness LD to re-break the enemies, and this helps to charge the summon meter. After that, I repeat the same until the bosses regenerate their Brave again, and then this time I use the Dark Knight Cecile base call to cause a launch, and also to allow Cloud of Darkness to use another LD right here, and this should nicely charge the summon meter to full. Once that's done, I swap her out for Kane, and with Kane, this is quite important. You have to use 2 additional ability here. It's not only for the chip damage, but it's also to line up the turns so that Cloud of Darkness will actually get a re-break on her turn, and you'll see that later in the summon mode. Once that's done, you can BT+ and then pop summon on Terra's turn. The moment Kane comes in, the goal is to actually focus all attacks on a singular boss. So I had Kane use his additional ability and BT+ on the same boss, and then I follow this with Terra's Meteor+ on the same boss as well. Meteor+ is chosen over Meltdown because it has better single target damage. This is done on purpose because the whole idea is to time it nicely so that you get a Cloud of Darkness free turn the moment the yellow aura appears on the boss. And this actually took me quite a few resets and retries, but once you get the timing right, you can actually pull this off pretty consistently. When Kane finally gets his turn again, I use his LD and then jump into the air. Doing so should very consistently give you Terra's turn on the final turn in summon, which is actually quite ideal because you can then use her LD to get a bunch of free turns while still keeping the turn count at 1. Now coming out of summon, what I do is still targeting the same boss, use EX followed by BT+, and ideally what you want is the BT+ to bring the boss to 79%. In order to achieve this, I think you do need to have a 5/5 ultimate weapon on both Terra and Cloud of Darkness because the damage is pretty tight. Even with this, I just nicely hit 79% on boss B from the follow-up attacks. If you did it correctly, right here you'll see Cloud of Darkness will get a re-break from her follow-up attack, and she gets an instant turn just when you need to delay boss B, and I can do so by using either her EX or her Zero Form Particle Beam. If you do not have Cloud of Darkness FR, I think it's recommended to bring each boss individually into the yellow aura, because Cloud of Darkness don't really have a lot of AoE delays in her kit. She only has that from her S2 but once you build her darkness stacks to 5 stacks or more, you actually lose that ability to AoE delay, so it's actually better to delay one boss at a time. Anyway, in the next 6 turns, after bringing boss B out of the yellow aura, I shift the target to boss A instead, and the idea is to bring boss A to the 79% threshold on the 6th turn after Cloud of Darkness, which should be nicely just when the boss regenerates its Brave and will allow you one consecutive return with Cloud of Darkness. It might sound really challenging to time the turn order as such, but what you can do is to base your run off of the free turn buff on Terra. So I use that buff sort of like a counter because it goes down by 1 every time Terra takes a turn, so this way you can roughly keep track on when the boss is about to regenerate its Brave. At this point, I'm actually 2 turns away from the boss regenerating its Brave, so what I did is use the Seed Rain's LD call, followed by Terra's FR. And so boss A regenerates its Brave, Cloud of Darkness lasers break the boss and gives her an instant turn, and this way I can bring boss A out of the threshold by using her Zero Form Particle Beam. Once this is done, the next time the boss will get their yellow aura again is at 19%, so this is where I'll be entering into Terra's BT mode to capitalize on her force time. Very quickly about alternative to call abilities, and I'll put this in the video description as well. If you don't have Dark Knight Cecile, give Sherlotta the Cloud LD call, and if you don't have the Seymour LD call, give Cloud of Darkness a call ability that can lend AoE delay. The damage control here is a little bit tricky, and this actually took me quite a few tries as well by experimenting on targeting different bosses and using either Meltdown or Meteor. What I ended up doing is going for Meltdown instead to get a better spread of damage across both bosses, but otherwise the goal here in the BT mode is to bring both bosses below 19% by the end of BT mode, and preferably you want to do this right at the tail end, because the moment they hit 19% they will start regenerating health again. So here I'm trying to do sort of consistent damage to both bosses, and the last few attacks on Terra's BT mode will be her LD and FR attack, which is spread AoE damage. So you really want to time your damage as best as possible and trigger the 19% yellow aura right at the tail end of the BT mode. So one boss will get yellow aura here, but I guess that's okay because I'm just one turn away from Cloud of Darkness. And so here boss A will get the yellow aura and will heal one additional 2% tick because I still will have to use Terra's BT finisher. But I guess this is as close as I can get. Because Cloud of Darkness did break both bosses inside Terra's BT mode, Cloud of Darkness will always get first turn once you exit the burst mode. And this is ideal because I've saved Seymour's LD call just for this. By using Seymour's LD call, you can dispel the yellow aura on both bosses simultaneously. I did make one slight mistake here. I should have targeted boss A instead because boss B was launchable and I wasted the potential launch damage here. Luckily, it ended up not really mattering. Now if you don't have Seymour LD call, you do need to give Cloud of Darkness another call ability with an AoE delay. I use Seymour LD call because his call also comes with nice debuffs, but otherwise just use something like Christie's LD call or Ramza or Cloud, it should work as well. So at this point, you are clear to finish off the bosses. To keep the turn count low, it is somewhat of a DPS race because at this point, the BT aura on Cloud of Darkness is also running low, and Terra is also running low on 3 turns. She has only 1 LD left. But beyond this, the boss doesn't have any other mechanics from here till the end. So I'm cutting it really close here. Luckily I have 2 more additional BT on Terra and Lancet for the win. Anyway, that's it for this run. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Shinryu fight. Bye!